Welcome to all listeners. We are going to discuss a very influential topic today, the education of English as a second language. English is already our second official language, the common language globally, and is part of the educational curriculum in our classrooms. We are also aware of the advantages that learning another language, apart from our mother tongue, can bring us from an early age, both at a social, professional, and personal level. But this process is not easy, and children may face some difficulties in learning English. Learning a second language requires a continuous evolutionary process. Therefore, the teacher has an elementary role in their training since it will influence the success or failure of their students to acquire effective learning. Currently, there is a requirement that teachers obtain a minimum level of English, which we consider to be an excellent decision since the more vocabulary, fluency, and naturalness a person possesses when speaking a language, it will allow the expanding the possibilities of learning by the students is a success, thus becoming the guide of the process. For this reason, it is important to define the language learning objectives clearly, as well as to establish what the students' priorities are. On the other hand, it is necessary to ensure that the evaluation of teaching will provide information, both the students and teachers, to determine what objectives are being achieved. Now, let's connect with Maria from the University of Oxford.
However, when it comes to teaching a second language, one must appreciate the distinction between how we learn the mother tongue and who English is taught. For example, learning Spanish is done naturally, which is a language based on everyday life. However, in English, it will be necessary to learn a previous terminology that a grammar, the practice of the language in terms of reading, listening, and in conversation, but about all its use. This important distinction is going to influence the learning problems of the students as when we start learning English at school. We do it by translating our natural Spanish into this new language that does not fit with our primary schemas. We may find ourselves in a time when due to age we don't even know how to pronounce our language well yet. It has notorious characteristics such as that it is not read the same as it is writing, and above all, the most important thing is that the current educational system is more focused on teaching to pass exam than in training bilingual people for the outset. And finally, we wanted to know Natalia's opinion from the University of Cambridge.
Currently, bilingual schools are increasing, with benefits the training of students, but since it doesn't occur naturally as the mother tongue and gives more academic meaning, it becomes more difficult for real bilingualism to be possible since the English language is not at the same level as the mother tongue. Since the mother tongue is in and out of the classroom at an early age, but English is not. and this meaning that it's only associated with the school environment, with both languages not being on a par, and therefore there being a significant absence between what should be bilingualism and what it really is. For these reasons, it's necessary to try to expose students to stimuli and sources in naturally spoken English at home. From the use of televisions to reading stories or books, audiobooks, attending workshops. Like we just taught the different tools that the teacher is going to apply, the students' vocabulary will be expanded, as well as the rest of the aspects related to language. So the teacher has to make sure that the students are aware of the different aspects of the language, are able to use different variables of the language and provide them with the necessary tools and strategies in optimally development learning. In conclusion, for the teaching learning process is the English language, we believe that is very important to begin with a good training of future teachers so that they can then apply everything they have acquired with the students, as well as the importance of vocabulary, conversation, and naturalness in the second language, just as we do with our mother tongue.